Hey gamers, what's up? So I have something really cool and special for you today. Something I don't normally do. It's a review, but it's a review that's never been done. Now you can go online and you can look up the Atari 2600 Pink Panther prototype cart all day long, but you won't really find a full-on review of the actual cartridge. Well, as it happens, a regular here at Level 1 Games is Steve Averitt. Steve is the guy who originally found this cartridge and loaned it to me so I could capture some footage directly from the prototype itself and do a review of the game. I was really stoked to be able to do this, and for Steve to lend it to me was really big because this is a valuable cart. And as far as I know, it's the first and only true video review done from the actual prototype cartridge itself. So without further ado, The Adventures of the Pink Panther Atari 2600 prototype review. This game is based off the Pink Panther cartoon series, which was inspired by the film starring Peter Sellers. In the beginning, it was being developed by US Games and was going to be titled Trail of the Pink Panther, which was the name of the latest Pink Panther movie of the time. But US Games went out of business and sold the rights to Probe 2000. This company was actually a division of North American Philips, or NAP. They were the same people who brought us the Odyssey 2, and they were getting ready to start publishing games on multiple platforms, so it was a perfect opportunity to release their own version of the game. So let's go back to summer CES 1983. NAP was really pushing this game. They handed out brochures, had a booth with people dressed in Pink Panther costumes, stuffed animals, a big screen TV playing the cartoon, pictures everywhere, and the whole shebang. Their catchphrase was plastered everywhere: "We've let the cat out of the bag." This was right after they abandoned the Odyssey 3 and decided to focus their attention on publishing games under the Probe 2000 label, and they didn't hold back. After the show, they even had the Second City comedy troupe perform a video game comedy caper for NAP employees. One of the skits featured actors playing Odyssey 2 game characters and even included another performer in a Pink Panther suit. The Atari 2600 version of the game was going to launch September 1983, but the date came and passed with no game launch. Probe 2000 was obviously facing difficulties. The video game market was crumbling all around them, and the company barely managed to ship War Room for the ColecoVision in October of '83. By January of 1984, they were done. Electronic Fun with Computers and Games reported that all Probe 2000 games, including the Pink Panther, had been permanently canceled. The game never saw the light of day, or so we thought, until 9 years later, in 1992, when collector Steve Averitt stumbled across the first known prototype of the game. It wasn't until 14 years after that, when in September of 2006, a listing hit eBay. The auction contained a binder of CES materials as well as a second Atari 2600 Pink Panther prototype. After several bids, the auction was canceled and then relisted a bit later with a higher reserve. When the auction closed, the final bid was $4,750. Whoever won that auction decided, as Steve has so far, not to distribute the ROM, so this game can only be played by those with an actual hard copy of the game. First, I'm going to show you the actual gameplay footage of the game itself taken directly from the prototype. Then I'm going to show you video footage that Steve sent to Digital Press in 1994 showing the original Probe 2000 cartridge casing and the actual chip that the game is on. And last, you'll get to see a video of Steve and I talking about how he found the cart. So let's go. The Pink Panther is walking down the street with a tall brick wall behind him. On top of the brick wall is Inspector Clouseau, who's out to stop the Panther from stealing the diamond. On this level, the Inspector's plan is to stop the Panther by dropping bricks down, leaving holes in the ground. And for some reason, there's water under the street. If you fall into the water, you lose a life. You can jump the holes in the ground by pressing diagonally on the joystick. So these holes have to be filled in before you can get to the next level. To fill the holes in, you need to catch the bricks before they hit the ground. If you're really hardcore, you can press the action button to extend your tail and try to catch bricks on it. Catching bricks with your tail is a lot harder, but gets you more points. And back in '83, points are what games were all about. So, once you get the road all fixed up, you gain entry to a building and get to the elevators, and that's level 2. Here the Pink Panther needs to pick the right elevator on each floor to get to the floor above. To ride an elevator, you walk up to the one you want to try and press the action button. Meanwhile, enemies are coming. First off are the bulldogs, and I don't know why, but they look like little green aliens. Sometimes dynamite appears if you pick the wrong door. When you see it, you have to hurry to the next floor or you get blown up. The third thing to look out for is the flying saucer. I'm not sure where they came up with that, never saw it in the movie. But when you see them, it kind of reminds you of a diamond-shaped version of the silver spheres from Phantasm trying to stab you in the head. Pushing up or down on the joystick makes you jump or duck on this level. Once you pick the right elevator for each floor and get to the top, you move on to level 3, the Pink Panther Heist. You start this level in the vault. They have some crazy Indiana Jones type security here, as the diamond sits on a platform in the middle of some water that rises and lowers with vines swinging back and forth. As in the street, water kills the Pink Panther so you can't fall in. First you have to jump onto the moving platform while the water is low. If the water level rises with you on the platform, again, you lose a life. Once you're on the vine, you flip over and snatch your prize. You've just stolen the Pink Panther diamond. But it's a short-lived victory. Clouseau was waiting there for you and took it right back. So what do I think of this game? In all honesty, it's better than most 2600 games I've played, and it's just a prototype. I think that if developers had put this level of passion, effort, and detail into more second-gen games, they could have easily avoided the video game market crash in 1983. This game looks great, plays really well, and the sounds and music are really good too. It could very well have set a new standard and raised the bar for future games of the generation. If I were going to rate this game, I'd give it a 7.5 out of 10. Easy. And that's my thoughts on the Atari 2600 Pink Panther prototype cart.
Does exist. Here, we'll just go right down here. This is the cartridge casing. It's a Probe 2000 cartridge casing. It looks kind of like the War Room cartridge. If you look inside, Vision does not have these tabs, as these are only made to fit into the 2600. So, like I said, this is definitely Probe 2000 casing. Let's take a look at what's on the inside here. Opening this up. You can tell this is pretty glossy. It's never really had a label on it before. Okay, opening the cartridge up right here. I'll bring this right up close to you here. Okay. Looking right here, the words engineering sample are seen right there. And this just has some numbers here. It says component side. Flipping it over to this side, just some numbers, solder side, some numbers, IC1, some more numbers right there. As you can tell, the chip is not a 7800 chip, it's a 2600 cartridge chip because it's a little narrower here. But definitely the one thing that clues me into this being a prototype is that it says engineering sample right there. Let's go ahead and plug it in and see what it looks like. Here is the game. We'll go ahead and just play the 3 screens through here real quick. Anyway, that's the game right there. 3 full screens. Actually, the entire game has 3 screens, and that basically shows you that the game does exist. Okay. So I thought I'd show you that, and we'll hope to talk to you later. Okay.
Hey gamers, what's up? I am here with the man himself. This is Steve Averitt. This is the guy who found and bought the Pink Panther prototype cart, and he's the guy you see in the video that he sent to Digital Press to show them that it exists. So I wanted to ask Steve a couple of questions, and I wanted to show you guys the video of it, so here we are. So Steve, thanks for coming. I appreciate it.
Nice to see you, Chad.
First and foremost, so what year did you find that Pink Panther cart, and at what store did you find it?
Well, it was here in Columbus, Ohio in 1992 at a store called Village Thrift down on Parsons Avenue in Columbus. It's an area of Columbus that at the time in the early 90s had a lot of different video games in thrift stores.
Mm-hmm.
And there were at least 4 different thrift stores I would just bounce around to at the time.
Cool.
So yeah, one of them I just landed it that day.
There you go. So how much did you pay for it?
At the time it was $1.50, and there's a little funny story. That day I didn't come prepared. I had no money, and I was just thinking, well, maybe I get lucky. And so sure enough, I found this unique looking cartridge casing, and I thought, man, I should pick that up. It's $1.50, and I don't have $1.50. So I drove all 20 minutes back to my place, got the $1.50, and I came back and thunked it down, and lo and behold, when I got it home, I was quite pleased that I had went ahead and made that extra trip.
It had no label.
No label.
So you didn't know what you were getting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. It was pretty cool. At the time, I was just amazed.
Talk about your finds.
Yeah.
So, what year you shot the video also in 1992 to send to Digital Press then?
No, it's probably 94 or 95.
Okay. So
I think it might have
later.
been 94. Yeah, because
Okay.
I got affiliated with Digital Press maybe in 93 or 94.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, aside from this, have you found any of the really good collectibles or prototypes, or is this the best thing you've ever found?
This is the best thing I've ever found, but I also found a very unique cartridge called Coke Wins, and I was I think the first person to find that, and I think there have been subsequently a couple others that have been found, maybe a few others, but Coke Wins was found at a flea market that I went to, and a dealer of video games and collectibles had it, and he sold it to my wife and I for, at the time, I think it was $34 or $35. So, and again, I was thinking, wow, that's the best deal of a lifetime, almost, but not quite $1.50.
So there you go, thrift stores. You
Yeah.
gotta check the thrift stores.
Yeah, and the flea markets.
And the flea markets, okay.
Well, at least in the 90s. These
Yeah.
days, they're more hard to come by,
Yeah.
definitely.
Okay, so that's it. I appreciate you coming by and
All right.
talking to the camera.
Yeah, good to
And
see you, Chet. Yeah.
we'll see you all soon. Thanks for watching.